Hey guys, welcome to Loveshack Entertainment, and today, do not worry, the 12 Days of Shaxmas is not over, but there was a slight, let's call it a production error, and so basically, long story short, we started the series on the 13th with the intent that the final episode would air on Christmas Day. Lo and behold, math is not necessarily my strong point, and there's actually 14 days if you count the 13th, and because that was the first day we uploaded the video, it turns out we're 1 day short. I'm sorry, 13 days, not 14, I'm just an idiot. So we're 1 day short, so I said, you know what, we'll take a break today, and actually we're going to be going to a regionals this weekend, so I figured I would showcase one of the decks we're going to be playing at regionals, which is Kozmo, so I thought that we would do a little Kozmo deck profile, updated Kozmo deck profile, and then we'll resume the 12 Days of Shaxmas tomorrow. So thanks for bearing with us. And like I said, we are going to regional this weekend. It's the 19th. It'll probably be the last competitive event of the year that we go to. And it'll be in Peabody, Mass. I think it is. So anyone in the New England area that's going, you know, be cool to meet some of you guys if you're going to be there. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and do this deck profile. So we've done one before. You can check that out. If I remember, I'll toss up a link in the video itself. Title card there. But yeah, so it's a little bit different now, and we had all sorts of infuriated people that were only playing Kozmo Slip Rider at 1. So here's the thing, gonna still piss you off in this video, but let's jump into it and see what happens. So triple Kozmo Farm Girl, at least not like super inaccessible anymore, because now it's reprinted in Clash Rebellion Special Edition, so you can get it as an unlimited. I think it's like 25 bucks now. So those of you that want to play the deck, it's definitely cheaper than it was, as it should be, because the $100 price tag was a bit excessive. So triple Farm Girl, the searcher of the deck, really one of the main playmakers. I don't know why I did that. So, here's the rest of the Kozmo. We got one Slip Rider, so this enrages people in the comments section. I find it hilarious. Everyone says playing only one in a meta dominated by pendulums is foolish, stupid, etc. The card dead draws a lot, and when you don't dead draw it, you can pretty much recur it super easily with Kozmo Town. So basically, Slip Rider is not something I want to open unless, you know, depending on the matchup. And I can bring it out with Forerunner, and then once it's out and live, I can recycle it easily. And I do play other stuff for spell trap removal, but this is not one of the things that I want to devote main deck space to. So I still really like it at 1, and I don't think it's necessary more than 1, especially when the stuff in Breakers of Shadow comes out, which will give you access to graveyard recycling. So 2 Forerunner, because you have Dark Destroyer now as well, so it's not like super necessary. Although 3 is still okay. It's definitely one of those things you could kind of pick and choose as you like. I like the level diversity that it gives reasoning, so that's pretty cool. 2 Wicked Witch. I've been contemplating cutting this down to 1 because a lot of times it is just kind of like redundant, but it's still a good 1900 beater that can get over a lot of stuff and stall if you do brick draw, and it's a target for Allure of Darkness, so it has a lot of merit. Just at 2. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens, though, based on... This is pretty much what I'm going to go with as the final build. So, 2 Dark Destroyer. Now, I'm only playing 2 because I just don't have a third one at the moment, but I don't think you need a third one either, which is why I haven't been, like, in a rush to just shell out the money for it. I'm really just trying to let it sink a little bit and pick it up once it's a little bit more easily accessible. But still, it's a pretty cool card. It's kind of just really, really powerful because it's untargetable. When it comes out, it pops a monster, and it speeds up your OTKs because you can pop your own monster and then put another monster on board to do a lot of damage. So Dark Destroyer is a 2 to 3. I'm just playing it at 2 because I don't have a third one, and in testing, I've never really outright needed it. But you might as well play it at 3 to improve your odds of drawing it, so it's definitely something worth taking a look at. 2 Kozmo Strawman. This guy's really good too. He recurs your banished monsters, and then if you bring back a ship with him, you can also trigger their effects during the end phase. Not to mention he's an E-Telly target, and he can special Farm Girl from hand, so he's got all sorts of silly shenanigan plays. I think he's really good at 2, and I think he'll stay really good at 2 even when the new support comes out, even though I do expect the deck to change a little. 1 Good Witch, because it's kind of bad, but it's also kind of good. It can run over some synchros and Nixies and things like that. But the targeting reliance there and the fact that they can easily respond to it with stuff definitely makes it not necessary at more than 1. 2 Honest, again, expecting to see some criticism from people here because we did this in the last video, and people were angry about Reasoning and Honest in the deck together. I never really see that as an issue. In the times that I do get Honest off Reasoning, I can just bounce it to my hand, and even if my opponent knows it's there, they're still forced to find a way to play around it, which is easier said than done when I can respond to their effects with so many things. So it's definitely worth it to just play the maximum number of copies allowed because I run a large amount of light targets, and it allows me to go for game a lot more easily. And then the last monsters would be 2 Ghost Ogre. Now, I was actually not maining this at 2 last time, I believe. I did this because for a little while it kind of fizzled out of importance. But now that we're back to Luster, Pendulum, Plushfire being just an obnoxiously ridiculous combo that you see everywhere, opening with Ghost Ogre becomes like 10,000 times more important than it was before. So I want to increase my chances of drawing into one, which is obviously the reason to play 2. The fact that it's also a Psychic and a Tuner and a Light Monster just gives it a little bit more merit to the deck, not to mention some cool artwork there. But yeah, just all around a great card that's absolutely worth playing at 2 because of the fact that Pendulums dominate the meta right now, and you really want to be able to get your outs to those as quickly as possible. Let's move on to spells then. I'm rambling a bit. So 2 Galaxy Cyclone and 2 MST. So we may be a little Spell and Trap heavy here, and I get that, but the fact is that Floodgates hurt this deck, and Pendulums are obnoxious, and you want to be able to get over Luster Pendulum and whatever other silly Magispector combos they may try to pull off. You're never going to pop Plushfire, obviously, but basically just being able to clear back row and allow yourself to play in OTK a little bit more effectively. Galaxy Cyclone also works really well with Reasoning, because if you mill it, you can still use it. So basically, it's just an all-around really good card, and I don't know, it's weird because I've considered going 3 Cyclone, 1 MST, but then again, I just like the fact that I can, quick pop MST if I need to do it in response to something, so that's why I've kept it at that number. 2 Dark Hole, again, Dark Hole, I'm not going to waste time explaining that one. Allure of Darkness, so now the deck can actually play this quite well. You can banish Dark Destroyer, Wicked Witch, things like that, and then it's always pretty much always live because you can just banish Dark Destroyer and then special Strawman. Use Strawman to special it back, and cool combos like that. 1 Regeki, like self-explanatory. Your deck's main goal is to OTK, so that's why you want to play it. 1 Limiter Removal, another one that people have been like, oh, why you play Limiter Removal? But like, again, I play the machines, they pop themselves, and overall it just speeds up the ability to OTK, which is just the way this variant of the deck works to its fullest potential, I think. Triple Kozmo Town. The field spell, it's the engine of the deck, it's what makes it work. It's like 15 different effects in one card, and they're all good, and they're all absolutely necessary to be able to win. Triple Reasoning, because again, you have like 6 or 7 different levels in here, and even stuff like Breakthrough Skill and Galaxy Cyclone that you don't mind going to the graveyard. I've seen some decks kind of shift this around a little bit. I've seen some of the more recent decks aren't playing it at all. I just think it's way too good not to play, and I prefer to stick to that style with some side deck choices and stuff to counter the current format. And then, obviously, 3 Emergency Teleport. It's still great. It's still quick to get Farm Girl, but it also helps to OTK and to basically just speed up your deck. That's, I don't know. Some of these things I feel like are just, like, without saying, but then I feel like if I don't touch on them, people are going to complain. So, trying to appease both worlds. 2 Storming Mirror Force. Again, just an amazing, amazing card that really does disrupt every deck, even those that are Pendulum, because it sets them back a turn, and that's what's so important. 2 Breakthrough Skill, because you can mill it off Reasoning, and there's still a decent amount of monsters out there that rely on, effects to get things off, like Joker and stuff is a really good play against Joker. Of course, I do side it out a lot because, in the mirror match, it's relatively useless. And then 1 Torrential, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. I don't play Solemn. I pay a lot of life points in here, so as it stands, like, Solemn seems like it would be more of a detriment than it would be a benefit, but I guess that's always subject to change. And then side deck, which I'll try to go through a little bit quickly here. The 1 Galaxy Cyclone, again, because there are scenarios where I just want to have all 3. Anti-meta deck, rogue deck, Yang Zing, things like that pop up. You want to have outs to it. 2 Poisonous Winds for the Magispector matchup. Surprisingly good. In testing, it's actually been really useful when I did side it in. 2 Lancia, because I can't play Iron Wall, so it's good for the mirror match. 1 Macro Cosmos. This disrupts more so rogue than anything else, but like the card does hit a lot, and it'd be really cool to have access to more than one if it was obviously not, at 1. 1 Cyber Dragon, and I got the Chimera Tech in the extra deck, we'll show you in a second. Just for the mirror match to get over the machines. 2 Decree, we play a few traps, but you can easily side them out and maneuver a bit better. 2 Max C, a card that's starting to become really good again, I think. It's so special summon heavy, the format, so it's definitely going to be something that may be worth a look at putting back in the main deck. But as it stands right now, I'm going to keep it sided, and we will see what happens. 1 Denko, this is relatively not that great anymore. It's still a cool card and everything else, and don't get me wrong, I just mean in Kozmo, no, there's not as much back row being played, so the card itself is not nearly as potent as it was when Shadal, Nekroz, and Clifford's were running rampant. This I may drop. I just don't know what for yet, so for now, at least for the the event, I'm keeping it in. And then 2 Mistaken Arrest. It does slow down searching. It's okay in the mirror match, and it hurts Pepe a bit, but again, this is another one that, like, right now just doesn't seem as potent as maybe it will be when Monarchs come out and things like that. So we may end up dropping that after the event, too. We'll just have to see what happens. And then for the extra deck, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. These are your 7s. Also, I apologize. Also, Lacros. You can make 7s relatively easily with Ghost Ogre and any of your level 4s. Not that I touch the extra deck with this much anyway, but you want to have the options there. Goyo and Vulcan for 6s. Using Vulcan to bounce your own Kozmo Town back to the hand is a really good play. And not that I go into it often, but I've won games being able to get over things like Chow Fang, that's like all sorts of invincible to things using Vulcan's effect because the fire attribute. For 5s, I've got Catastor and Armades. I'm never really going to Catastor too much. Armades is still a great card. It really shuts down things. The 1/8 Scarlight, it's just a really good card. Again, 8s aren't common in the deck, but it's still, again, it's an option, and it's definitely worth it to have because Scarlight does disrupt shit. Also, 1 Metaphys Horus, I missed that. This is really good, but not great. I don't know, it's weird. I'm a little bit love-hate with it. I don't make it very much. If I have to cut something, it'll definitely be the first thing to go. The 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, like I said, for the mirror match. Leviair, just so you can get Farm Girl back and things like that if they do somehow stop your Kozmo Towns. Castel, rank 4, good rank 4, arguably the best one. It's the only rank 4 play, actually. Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon for the Forerunners. Again, it's not common, but it's nice to have, especially if you put a ton of damage on board and then you make this and basically you lock them because anytime they play a card, they're going to lose. Fortune Tune, just to recycle Farm Girls and stuff. You won't even need this once Sword Troopers comes out, but at least for now it's decent. And then 1 Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. Really going to end up cutting this, I think. Right now, it's just played because it's a level 7, rank 7 that can bring out Meteor Burst, but there's just going to be some better options there, and I think that the best option to replace this with is more than likely going to be Yahtzee, Evil of the Yang Zing. So I think Yazi is going to be what goes in place of that. But like I said, this is pretty much what I'm going to use for the event, and then we'll change it up after and see what we come up with. But in the meantime, that's going to wrap up this video. And again, like I said, just wanted to do a little something because we are going to be resuming the 12 Days of Shaxfest tomorrow. Unfortunately, I had a little bit of a mishap with the video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time right here at Loveshack Entertainment.